Welcome back to the channel. So today this is a kind of first look at the amazing Korg M3 that I have just bought. It is pretty flippin' amazing. Considering this thing is nearly 20 years old, I happen to have bought one that's absolutely mint by the looks of it. Everything still works, joystick works, the touch strip works, the screen works, all the buttons, the sliders, everything is in working order, the pads and everything, the rotary. There's only kind of like one knob and it's for the tempo, which is really cool. It's got a dedicated tempo knob. Apart from that, it's all buttons, and there are quite a lot of buttons. You don't really use kind of most of these. You're kind of using these ones and these ones. It is pretty incredible. And this is the separate module. So if we lift this up, you can see that is what you get if you buy the module. And with the keyboard, you just flip those up and it locks in place like that, and then I get a nice angled screen to work with and for using the pads. So yeah, I mean, it is just flipping brilliant, and you can see from this shot what you get as far as inputs and outputs. I mean, this thing is just got absolutely everything. Obviously headphones, you've got left and right, you've got more inputs, you've got line inputs, mic inputs, you've got level, you've got optical. There's an optical out, there's a pedal, switch, damper, and there's also MIDI in, out, through. There's USB-B, 2 USB-As, and that is your power switch there. I'll probably put this back down so you can actually see it a bit better. But yeah, so that is what you get, and it's fucking heavy. I mean, the module weighs a ton on its own. I think there is a lot of these still for sale, the modules. As well as, because you could either buy the module on its own, or you could buy, this is a 61 key, there was a 73 and the 88, and I don't think I've ever seen an 88 for sale, so I don't think they kind of made many of those at all. They are mainly the 61 and the 73s. It is just fantastic. It is so retro. It looks like something out of 2001 Space Odyssey, the way that it's been designed. It is just, I mean, this is plastic, but the rest of it weighs an absolute ton. I mean, I had to check the weight from a stand to see that it could take it, but yeah, it must weigh about 20 kilos at least. So the whole thing's metal. The only thing that's kind of plastic are these bits here, and they're not even, they look like Bakelite if you are old enough to remember what Bakelite is from the 1950s. That's real wood as well on the end. You can't actually see, there's just two dark wood end panels. I'll maybe put a screenshot up of it to show what it's like. I can't really get the right camera position to get this all in. So yeah, so you get wooden end panels, and then, like I said, this is all metal, and then the pads are obviously 2007 pads, so yeah, they're not as tactile as the ones that you get now, but they still work, and they are velocity sensitive, and this thing is velocity sensitive with aftertouch as well. It's a very synthy keyboard. It has got quite a springy action, and there's not a huge amount of travel for the aftertouch, but it is nice. I was going to get the module, but after watching a few videos, there was a lot that you do with the joystick. And this is kind of like an XY as well, so you can actually use the screen as an XY touchpad as well. It has an XY mode, and you just go straight into it, so there's no menu diving on this thing. This joystick is pitch bend, and then it's set to filter modulate and also vibrato as kind of standard, but you can, you know, assign it to anything, and it has two switches as well, and they do various things depending on what they've been programmed to in either the combis or the programs, and it is just fantastic. Here we are, and I have this hooked up now to the Focusrite and Logic, so we can actually hear what it sounds like. So it's switched on, and like I said, you've got red kind of lights, and the screen is pretty clear, and I'll probably try and get a better view of the screen for other videos. So I'll run over the controls now that you can kind of see them a bit better. So this is your master volume, and it is putting out one hell of a signal. I mean, my Focusrite's down about 11 o'clock, and it's normally about 1, 2. So, and this is the first patch. So this has a grand piano in it. This is called Towards the Sun, and you've probably, if you've watched any of the kind of M3 videos, you've probably heard this one before. So it is very nice, and it has the stereo grand 4-way as the kind of main sample. So yeah, very, very nice. So you have got, let's say, your main volume, you've got a reset controls button. So if you move these around and you want to go back to the, because they kind of default to the middle. So that is a kind of default state for that particular patch. Kind of move them around, you can just reset them back to the actual preset. These are all the effects buttons. So you have got 5 insert effects, 2 master effects, and a total effects. So there's 8, and you can see you can switch these off and on. The first 4 are kind of preset to cut-off resonance, the envelope generator, intensity, and the envelope generator release. And then the next 4 are user assignable. So you can either use that to increase the values, or the buttons, or the scroll wheel as well. So down the side you've got the control assigned. So you've got mixer, real-time control, external, tone adjust, and karma, and you can switch the karma off and on here. It also has a separate drum track. You have latch and module control. So module control, you've got master A, B, C, and D. Then you've got scenes 1 to 8. So for the pad mode, you've got either velocity sensitive or velocity fixed, and then you can also assign your own chords. Depending on the preset, these will do completely different things. So in this one, it's playing chords. I've got it on sensitive, so we can adjust the cutoff. And then vibrato on the joystick. So these are your 3 XY pads. So I mean, this is so unusual that so when you switch the XY mode on, the screen doesn't change. You just go over the screen and it changes color. So I can I'll play a chord. So you probably can't see this very well, but it's changing from kind of blue to pink to green. Depending on which kind of way you... So how cool is that? So you can still see exactly what's going on. You don't go off to another screen. And you can also hold it as well, and then you can record your own motion. So it's really cool. Dedicated buttons for everything. And then you've got your modes. So these are the ones that you use quite a lot. So we're in combi mode. So there's, I don't know how many patches for combi mode. And then there's program mode. And then there's absolutely hundreds and hundreds of presets in program mode. You've got your sequencer, you've got your sampling, you've got your global, and your media. So when I got this, it was on version 2. And there's actually been quite a few updates, although it still says it's so. I'm on 2.05, but there has actually been a lot of fixes. So this came out 2007, and then the latest update firmware was 2013. A PDF, and it goes through all the bug fixes and improvements and stuff like that. Really easy to do. On another video, I'll show you all the stuff that's still available to download for this. There's dozens of PDFs for all the manuals, all the software upgrades, everything. So it's just really well catered for, even though it is a 2007 model. So all you do is you download the firmware update, put it on a USB stick, stick it in the back, and then you just go into the global menu, update software. You do it once, switch off, switch on again, do it again, and that's it. So it has made a difference. The touchscreen seems a bit more responsive, although compared to touchscreens nowadays, you do have to hit it sometimes quite hard. But that's just, you know, I mean, it's a miracle the whole thing still works anyway. So that is your kind of modes. You've got your bank select. So we're in bank 1A. You've got 1B, 1C, 1D. E and F and G. Yeah, so you have 7 banks of presets, and then you have 7 banks for your user programs. And then you've got a number pad, so if I want to specifically go to preset 112, I can punch it in and hit enter. You've also got a compare button, and then you've got an exit and a page select. And then you've got the sampling, so you've got record, start, stop for sampling. Like I said, this is the only knob, and it adjusts the tempo, so it's really cool to have a dedicated tempo knob, because normally you've got to go into some flipping sub-menu and find it. And then the sequencer, you've got pause, rewind, forward, locate, record right, start, stop, and then tap tempo. And then you've got your 8 pads, which, like I said, are very cool. I mean, you can probably hear on the mic, they are quite noisy, but then, you know, that sort of technology has moved on quite a lot in 17 years. But they work, it doesn't matter. And they are sensitive, so the sensitivity is still working. Like I said, 2 buttons, you can switch on the drum track, and then that will just come in. And you can go in and adjust the volumes for these. So if I go into mixer, so you've got mixer 1 to 8 and mixer 9 to 16, so I can go in and adjust, so the drums is this one and this one. So there's 5 for the drums, depending on the inch, you know, which part of the drums. So you can go and adjust all those. And then mixer 9 to 16 is, there's 3 basses, bell, more drums, and 3 keyboards. So I mean, it's just really cool. So you just use those sliders to adjust the volumes, and you can go into control surface as well, and then you can actually mute and play each part as well. So that's the drum track, and then if we switch Karma on, we'll get the full, the bass all coming. Strip works, so if you go left it's X, and if you go right it's Y. And sometimes it doesn't really do anything, it depends on how it's been switched up. So if I exit this, it would tell me what has been applied to the X, Y. Right, so but try Beyond the Cosmos, and I'll switch off the Karma engine and the drum track. Right, I'll switch the drums on. And then I'll switch Karma on. Switch the drums off. So the keyboard's been split, so the Karma comes on. Yeah, so the keyboard split to so that's C3. 001 called the Orchestra. So you get the kind of strings at the top and then brass down the bottom. And then the pads are the heads. Switch fixed velocity on. And we'll switch karma on. Switch karma off and just switch the drums on. How cool is that? So I'm going to do obviously a much more in-depth preset one. So that is it for today because it has gone on quite long. So like I said, there's going to be loads more deep diving into how this works, a bit of the background about how it came about. Korg OASYS came out 2005 and then this came out 2007 and it's basically like the little brother, because if you've ever seen a Korg OASYS, you'll know what I mean by little brother, because that is possibly the biggest keyboard ever built, and I will kind of talk about the OASYS in the next video. So that's it for today, and hopefully you have enjoyed the first look at the Korg M3. So if you are enjoying the videos, please remember to like, subscribe, share and comment, and I will see you in the next one.